Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we are on Kafosh's account. We're gonna give him a review and hopefully share some tips which will help you guys with developing your own accounts. So as you can tell, he is a high spender player. He is VIP 18 and he has a good development of all the Celestial Hypogean heroes basically at Supreme Plus and pretty much maxed out on exclusive equipment. His Paragon tier is a little bit on the low side. He only has a few Paragon 2 upgrades, and now because Paragons are receiving a pretty big buff for the new season, he'll basically have to decide, does he want to really try to compete hardcore in PvP, in which case pushing Paragons is going to be a priority, or do you want to have just a well-rounded account, being able to fight whatever game mode that comes out, any boss content, mainly PvE focus. Then in my opinion, I would say try to get all of your heroes to Supreme Plus, rather than prioritizing the Paragons so much. Because it's going to be the same thing, like even with Celestial Hypogean heroes, do you want to build every Celestial Hypogean hero that comes out? Based on his account so far, I think that is really what he's planning to do. But if he wanted to just focus only PvP, then he could just Paragon upgrade certain Celestial Hypogean heroes rather than build everything. So it comes down a bit to personal preference. What are you going to aim to shoot for in the game? In my honest opinion, I think it is always a better idea to well-round your account, build up more heroes to Supreme Plus, rather than really hard focusing the Paragon. Paragon is going to come with time naturally, but like the thing is, even if he hard focuses it here, even if he gets a bunch of Paragon 2 upgrades, he's still going to be losing to Paragon 4 players. A full Paragon 4 team after these Paragon buffs is going to be pretty much unbreakable. So in my opinion, I would say work on getting your heroes which are not currently at Supreme Plus, get them capped out, because then you have basically all the tools in your toolbox to handle any game mode that comes, any boss content. Like you'll be able to put together every team. You're going to be dominating in every PvE game mode, and even in PvP you're going to do fine. Like honestly, even Supreme Plus Celestial Hypogeans after the change are going to receive a good amount of rivalry stats. They're going to be pretty effective. You do not need to Paragon Ascend them, and honestly, like Paragon Ascending Celestial Hypogeans is now becoming a really whale thing, because like you gain an even lower like boost of stats now that some of them have been shifted to the Supreme Plus level. So that is basically my opinion. Okay, and as for exclusive equipment, like basically all of his key heroes are leveled up. It would depend how much you use certain heroes in PvP. For example, like, but I think you're probably going to end up running your mainly, like, your Paragon Ascensions and your Celestial Hypogeans in PvP, and I would say give up on the other heroes. Like normally Tassi is considered a really strong PvP hero. However, the thing is, if she's only at Supreme Plus, and also in the next season, I mean, Wilders are going to be strong, so I do think Tassi is still going to have a good place. But the thing is, at Supreme Plus, she's going to be less effective with all the Paragon buffs. So I think it is going to be a priority for you to Paragon upgrade the Tassi, even probably the Lenya. But for right now, they're not going to be used as much, and I think your best teams are going to be probably 2 Hypogean Celestial teams, and then probably 1 Wilder team with your highly Paragon Ascended Wilders, like Iron, Arden, Haywin, for example, and then run 2 other Hypogean Celestial teams like Daryl Dunlinger, and then Talian Fresto Scarlia team. So you're basically gonna now need to decide what are gonna be your go-to PvP teams, because you only need, for example, enough good teams to put together 3 good teams for Supreme Arena. Anyway, let's take a look at your wish list and see what type of things you're prioritizing over here. Like, are you working on getting a well-rounded account, or are you trying to go for the Paragon upgrades? Okay, great. You're going for the well-rounded account approach, which I agree with. I think that is a really good strategy. And as for your Paragon Ascensions, I do think Sonya is more relevant for PvP compared to the others. You could go for Vala, depends how much you use her. But I like that you're going for Atalanta here. She is going to get a level 2 upgrade of her Supreme Plus. She might be useful for some game modes for that. So I think getting her to Supreme Plus should be a priority for your account. So your Luca, you're trying to max out Luca. I would switch to Hypogean now. I have a feeling, well, your Hypogean has that Legendary Plus, which is probably enough. But I have a feeling Hypogean is going to be more meta and relevant to your account than Faye. Faye almost has no relevancy. And especially now that your Faye is Supreme, I would swap it for the Hypogean. And for your A-level Maulers, you're looking for Paragon upgrades. Okay, so in this position, honestly, Antanja Paragon upgrade is not too great. You already have Paragon 2 unlocked. You don't need her. I would say go for Set if you want him for PvP, or just begin accumulating OD copies so that as soon as you unlock Paragon 3, you can promote him. Because OD is a really top priority for Paragon. But it would be, in my opinion, either Set or OD. Go for that Paragon 2 upgrade, because you're going to want to now put together a team that has as many Paragon heroes as possible, even if necessarily those heroes are not the best. So like having a Paragon 2 Set on your team is going to be better than a Paragon 1 Antanja, because the intimidation, inspiration stats are higher, contribute to the team by the Set. So I would say Set for right now, but you can swap it for Odie if you just want to begin accumulating copies of that. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Lily May always on. Yeah, and definitely she's not Paragon 2 yet. You need to keep Ronnie and Tassi. The other good thing about Tassi, actually, and why you should try to Paragon upgrade her, is you're now going to be able to purchase her from the season store pretty soon, basically, and then 2 copies every week you're going to be getting. That is going to speed up your Paragon upgrade. You can probably get Tassi to Paragon 2 by the end of the season, even without hitting it that much off of the wish list. Then you're going for Paragon upgrades. That is really smart. I would, again, you need to double down on, well, okay, maybe you're doing this for Dunlinger Diurnal, and you're like, I want to have Leica higher ascended for inspiration for my Dunlinger Diurnal comp. Then it's a good idea. So I'm fine with you keeping Leica here, but otherwise I would normally say double down on your Paragon 1 upgrades, boost them to Paragon 2, because then your team overall is going to be stronger, rather than having a lot of different Paragon 1 heroes which are not contributing as much inspiration and intimidation to your allies. Okay, great. You have Hodge Nara here. You're looking to upgrade them. Okay, and I guess your other kind of issue here is that you're also trying to get enough heroes to Paragon 2 to unlock Paragon 3. Because look, the thing though with Salazar, okay, you have them at, okay, they're both Paragon 1. Then that's fine. You can get them to Paragon 2. That is going to help you unlock Paragon 3 more quickly, because these two are going to get there. Your Lenya is going to get there, I think. Well, Lenya's Supreme right now, but eventually. And Seth Coco will get there. And then you'll have your Lily May get there. Maybe even Tassi eventually. Sonya. So you're going to have like enough heroes to then unlock Paragon 3, which will be important. You also have to unlock the next tier rather than just accumulating copies for it. And yeah, for the epic recruitment, I recommend everyone always keep S level heroes here. A level is too low value. You only get 5 copies compared to 1 copy of an S level hero, and like on rate up recruitment, you get 8 copies. If they revamp this to have 8 copies from the A level, if it dropped or you hit it, then I would really consider it. But 5 copies is too low in terms of efficiency. Okay, you're fully going for Supreme Plussing heroes, but honestly, I want to keep Tassi here. And Faye should not be here. Anyway, Faye is not important. I don't understand what is the reason for Faye. So much Faye everywhere. But Tassi will be, I think Tassi is a key Paragon upgrade, and I think you can afford to put her here. I think Hodgkin is probably more important to upgrade to Supreme Plus than Nara, because Hodgkin, I don't know, he was good in Ravage Realm. Nara was not. So maybe for the future Ravage Realm, that would be good. And yeah, keep the Lumont here. He's good for AFK stages as well. And keep the Brutus, yeah, for PvP. Okay, so this is a better wish list in my opinion. Try to get Lily May Tassi upgraded to Paragon, because out of all of the damage dealer heroes you have for the S levels, these are the 2 top tier damage dealers you want. Tassi and Lily May upgraded to Paragon. So that is my wish list priority. For Stellar Crystals, how many do you have? In my opinion, like I've told you, I honestly think do not take a Celestial Hypogean past Supreme Plus, especially because we're getting 3 this season. I think it would be much better for your account to get all 3 built up to Supreme Plus, or at least some of them, rather than going for Paragon upgrades. Because the issue with Paragon upgrades, like I said, you're gaining even reduced like stats each level you upgrade them compared to before. Well, technically you're still gaining more because you're gaining inspiration and intimidation, but basically some has been shifted to the Supreme Plus level. You already are going to have the rivalry stats at Supreme Plus. Taking them up the Paragon ladder is not a huge value, unless it's a really heavy spender account, and even then I would say stop at Paragon 2, because that is like the break point. Paragon 3 and 4 are just more expensive for exactly the same upgrades, so like Paragon 2 can be a nice like sweet spot for like high spenders, but for if you're not planning to spend a lot on the game like in this upcoming season, and also because you're going to have 3 Celestial Hypogeans, I recommend just going for them and leave these at Supreme Plus. Supreme Plus are going to be more than enough effective for PvP. Like, I mean, the opponent would have to have Paragon upgrade Celestial Hypogeans to compete with your Supreme Plus heroes. Otherwise, if you have a really solid defense formation, they're not going to be able to break it. Or yeah. So I think go for Supreme Plus. That is going to be better. Also, it'll just benefit you in any PvE content, any other game mode content. And great, you have Rainier at Paragon, or sorry, Supreme Plus, so that will give you the Inspiration Rivalry stats. You're going to be working on Like Up to Paragon. Your Dunling or Daniel comp will be strong. And your Smokey, yeah, your Smokey's at Paragon as well. So your Dunling or Daniel comp will be strong for one of your defenses for PvP, so that will be great. So that is basically most of the advice. Like, I mean, in terms of heroes, any hero which you use somewhere should be upgraded to +10 exclusive equipment. Now, for example, Sinbad Reeves, they're very hardly used, basically only for Ravage Realm. You don't need to upgrade them. But the other heroes which you use a lot should be. In terms of priority for +15, Lenya and Tassi are both a priority. It'll depend which one do you want to use more in PvP. I'm leaning towards Tassi. I think go for Tassi Paragon upgrades. You're going to get her available from the Season Store. Try to upgrade her to Paragon 2 as quickly as you can. Go for that +15 exclusive equipment. She is going to be powerful for PvP. And especially in the season, Wilders are going to be strong. So Lenya and Tassi, I think, would be my +15 recommendations for you. That is basically my advice. Apart from that, I mean, there's not any other, like Ludovic, Smokey, if you want Dream Realm performance, even Ludovic is good for PvP. So I would say Ludovic to +15 is a pretty big priority as well. But that is pretty much it. Otherwise, your heroes are all basically at +15, which should be there. And your account is looking pretty good. Your account looks good. Yeah, honestly, it's a good account. Just try to keep well-rounding it. Go for certain Paragon upgrades like Lily May, Tassi. And yeah, and keep Bonnie on your wish list as soon as she comes off so that you can Paragon upgrade her as well, because she is going to be a priority to Paragon upgrade too. Okay, let's take a look at your different performance. So Dream Realm, you have all the heroes built, and if you're running the optimal teams with the charms, you should have no problem remaining in top 20 of the district. And also the good thing is he has not a very competitive district. He's quite easily able to be in the top ranks. Even in Supreme Arena, he was in rank 1 or rank 2. He remains in the top 5 pretty consistently, and that is because his district is not super hyper competitive. So you're going for this comp. I think Rainier should be in front of the Tassi to give her the attack buff from the charms. That would be better. And I also think you should go for Resonating Spell. Yeah, because then Tassi has solo potential at the end. And then you have your team number 2. This is your Hypogean Celestial team number 1. And do you have another? You're not even running Dunlinger on the final team. Okay, you're running Harak with the Maulers. Yeah, Odie behind here is not a bad choice. Definitely not a bad choice. Okay, I guess kind of interesting team sort of setup here. I think I would probably give this effect to Shakir. That was going to give him the tankiness he needs, rather than the Scarlita, who doesn't need as much. I think this would be better, but overall, pretty good team. Like, Odie is going to set them up for execution. Harak is going to get an easy, quick kill. That would be good. You could even run Smokey here if you wanted to, but, I mean, that team is pretty good. And then you have your Hypogean Celestial team with Bonnie, which is a good option. I would, yeah, and you're running Taylene. Yeah, overall, good team. I think, good team. Bonnie is strong with Taylene combos because Taylene has a stall factor. Also, Burial has a stall factor. Oh, this is the team I think he wanted to show me. Oh no, I think we're going to take a look now at his... you know, if you're going for this, I am tempted to have the main Fester in front, because then he gets the Taylene Pyro Renewal. He also gets a shield effect from Valor Shield. Like, giving that to Illusion feels like kind of a waste, because you want the Illusion to die anyway. But I guess you do want to give that energy recovery to... But you could go for this, honestly. But I think your overall teams are fine. I'm not really going to change them around too much. I just wanted to see what sort of thing you're running. And for regular arena, let's take a look at what you have. Regular arena, yeah. So he's running Dunlinger, Downwell, Burial, Bonnie type comp. Honestly, I don't think... I mean, Ludovic to immediately heal the Downwell, but I wonder... I feel like Downwell is still weak on defense. Yeah, because people can just bring... okay, this person is bringing Lily May. Yeah, and like Bonnie of their own. I don't think this is the strongest defense. It is losing quite a lot. I would recommend a different defense. So let's go ahead and change this around. So I like this map. This is a really good map. Okay, I'm going to show you one team which is doing really well right now. It is going to be... Yeah, it is going to be Bonnie, Harak, off to the side, and then Taylene, and then Ludovic. This is an insanely strong team. Wait, no, is this the one? Is it like this? I think it's like this, yeah. Okay, so, and with the Confine as well. Basically, the idea here is if the enemy has a Bonnie, the debuffs will go off onto Ludovic, which is the best for you. You also have immediately healing from the beginning of the match. You have the power of renewal on the main Fester. You have energy recovery on Bonnie so she can cast her ultimate and stun the enemies. Bonnie is going to debuff them. Talene is going to easily survive from this position and keep like resurrecting herself. And Harak is going to get some kills because Bonnie is going to set up kills for the Harak. And with all the debuffs and the damage per second, and then Harak is going to get a kill, and all it takes is one kill for Harak, and then he's going to snowball out of control. So this is a very effective team that you can run. You can even try the reverse and have Harak behind the energy generation, but I like Harak behind the damage reduction. This is a very solid team. You have all the heroes needed built up to run this team, and when we have the new change, like the Paragon buff change, you're going to be a bit stronger because you have your Supreme plus Celestial Hypogeans. Right now, none of them are Paragon upgraded, but still, this is going to be a very solid team to run. And yeah. The only way to improve it would be like Paragon upgrading the Bonnie, Paragon upgrading Ludovic, and the other Celestial Hypogeans. But like I really recommended, I don't know, it comes down to your own personal preference. How much do you want to go for Paragon upgrades? You're like far off on all of them. I don't really recommend it. I think go for new Celestial Hypogean heroes. You'll have more fun on your account that way. Like getting one extra Paragon upgrade on a Celestial Hypogean is not going to make a big difference. But if you want to really go hard in PvP, you can take your key Celestial Hypogean heroes to Paragon 2, and the ones I would recommend are Harak, Frest, or Talene. Those are the top tier, basically, options. Honestly, Diurnal, I don't know about Diurnal because I feel like he's still really weak on defense. I think he'll be good with the faction talents we have, but I still feel like he's susceptible to being countered when you put him on defense. On offense, he's amazing, but a hero, in my opinion, if you're going to really go hard on Paragon upgrading them, they should also be good on defense. So that is basically it. Like, I mean, everything has been covered. Hopefully this was helpful to you, Kafosh, as well as all the other people who are watching. Hopefully this can give you some direction for the new season, how to be upgrading your account, which heroes to be focusing, because that is important. Using your resources well is important, and you can never go wrong by evenly leveling up the heroes on your account. Sometimes by Paragon and forcing hard Paragon, you can sometimes go wrong because you can miss out on building other heroes of Supreme Plus, which would help you in different game modes, a Ravage Realm, for example. And also, it can bait you into spending more than you want because, like, when you're close to a new Paragon upgrade or when you lose in PvP, you feel a bigger hit. You're like, I'm trying so hard to get Paragon upgrades and I should be dominating in PvP now, but still, the people who are Paragon 3 are crushing me, Paragon 4 are crushing me, so then you feel even worse, right? I feel that you can get let down when you focus on developing a well-rounded account, but when you focus on getting Paragon upgrades, you sometimes can be let down. You feel like, well, I'm doing all this for PvP and I'm still not performing so well in PvP. So that's why I say, for the most part, for most players, just give up a bit on PvP. You're going to try your best. You're going to set your best defense. You're going to gradually get Paragon upgrades. But if things are not working, if you're getting knocked down to top 20 rather than top 5, don't worry about it. If they're getting knocked down to top 50 rather than top 20, don't worry about it. Basically, just try your best with your teams you have and enjoy the PvE aspect of the game. And also, you will enjoy the PvP. Even if you're in top 50, that's amazing, right? So, like, you don't have to be so hard on yourself thinking, I have to be top 5, I have to be top 20, for example. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now.